All right, welcome ladies and gentlemen. Carlin Hicks here with you at the Texas Motor Speedway. We are in the final hour of qualifying for tonight's World 600 Winston Cup race. Check my volumes for you here. All right, folks, as I said, round 5 of the SCL Season 23 Winston Cup Series today, right smack dab in the middle of the season, a hot summer day at Texas Motor Speedway for the third running of the World 600. As I said, Carlin Hicks here with you. We've got Rita St. James down there in the pits. Some notable absences this week, the World 600. Kip's hauling ass and former winner Johnny Benson are not going to be competing this week, but we've got the championship leader Baron von Stosch and a whole host. As of right now, 15 cars on the entry list and still a good half an hour left to go. And we're going to get these guys cleared out. Got about 4 or 5 more cars left to go in qualifying. And you guys hang tight and keep an eye on here at the top of the hour. We will be getting ready for the longest stock car race of the season, the World 600 here at the Texas Motor Speedway. And excuse me, I'm going to head down trackside and be back with you in just a moment. All right, Rita, they probably still got me talking on the air, but not you. Yeah, no problem. You okay running them and me being up in the booth? Because I'm gonna start some water, get some coffee going. All right, I'll be up in the booth. If you need me, you holler. Absolutely. You're doing a yeoman's job in this. I didn't know you were that far through qualifying. I was going to come take the room over, and then it was like, wait a minute. She's got this many down. All right, I'll go up into the booth, and if you need something, holler. All righty. All right. Just going to hang tight, have an open feed here on the SCL Racing Network. Tonight's World 600. Looks like it's going to be Hossack 24, the defending Winston Cup Series champion, will be qualifying next. I am going to be bouncing around, folks, so hopefully I'll be on the cars that are going. If not, you can see the times. I'll put the timings on the board. I mean, this is a long race, but it's 600K, 240 laps here at the Texas Motor Speedway. It's the longest stock car race of the season. It's been one heck of a season so far. We saw longtime SCL veteran Stay Down Killen winning the Daytona 500. Then saw Baron von Stosch taking the Rebel 300 here at Texas. Round 3 was It's PT getting his first career Winston Cup win at the National 300. And then last week, round 4 at Willow Springs was Baron von Stosch again and stretching out his points lead. I'm going to put you on board here with Hossack and be right back with you guys. Hang tight, those of you waiting to qualify. Any of you wanting to qualify, message the SCL Racing Network and we'll get you on board. Hey, Twindy, how's it going? Doing all right. You on the entry list? Cool. Yeah, I wasn't sure. I hadn't seen if you were on or not. I knew you were second in points. Figured you were gonna be running. How you been? I hear ya. We're on the air here waiting for the last couple of qualifiers, I believe. Yeah, it's no worries. I think he's on his way anyway. This qualifying procedure, we've talked about it on the air a few times, throws me for a loop every time. It is what it is, and that's what we do in the Cup Series, but I, for one, have not gotten a handle on it. We went out and ran times you're looking at with me and Rita. I mean, I thought I ran a better line. She was all up the track, but sure enough, came in a tenth of a second faster, so it's just one of those things, you know. I think strategically, depends on the race. I know of what you're talking. You can be more on the throttle in one, you know, all the way on in the right circumstances if you're, you know, hanging it out like that. It just depends on where you're at on the track and what your shape your tires are in, though, as to whether you want to keep doing that. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I feel. Yeah, I mean that's the thing with the setup we have for JME. I feel 100% confident it can go a long time and be very consistent and very fast for a long time. I don't know that it's the fastest car on the track. I don't think it is, but it's quick from lap one. It's quick all the way through. That's really what it has been the key. We have a consistent car, and that consistency's been. I hear you. As Daz takes the line for his qualifying run, I'm not sure what the pole time is or any of that. We don't have the docs up today. He ran a 4 something, like 4:41. There you go. I mean, that's a hang it out kind of lap. Go 29.2. I mean, I've done that, don't get me wrong, but excuse me. Yeah, I didn't really hang it out there, but I thought I should have done better than a 6.42. I mean, it was a little, it was weird, but I mean, it is what it is. This is 600. You've been around long enough, Twindy. This has got to be your 8th season by now. And you've been around long enough to tell 23. You started in 16. Yeah, you're in your 8th season. You've been around. You've won races and championships. You can tell the guys watching a race like this. Yeah, why wouldn't you have yourself sharing there, Twindy, as I'm talking to myself? Anyway, folks who are following this one-sided conversation, Twindy's been around long enough to tell you.
I fixed it.
World 600. I mean, a race this long, qualifying's qualifying, and it's nice to be up front. And Callie's been turning in. I believe he won his first pole at in IndyCar on Friday.
Did he? Yeah, I think I'm backing it down. I don't think I'm running full time in anything other than Cup, for now at least. So.
Yeah, he won his first pole in IndyCar. That was a heck of a race. Rita and I were fortunate enough to lap the field.
You guys have something figured out that not many of us have been able to figure out in those cars, though. So.
This is the thing. I told the people in the post race, and I'll say it on the broadcast. We don't have a trick as far as the setup. I mean, we have our roll bar and tire adjustments, but it's nothing radical. Like, I've looked at people on the track in practice sessions. We're not doing anything radically different. The difference, Twindy, is just like in the GT6 days. We can run our fastest laps in traffic with 2, 3, 4 cars around us. We have the car set up to run in traffic. And so when we get 1-2 on the speedways, we can pull away. It's no different than what you and me used to do as teammates in the IndyCar Series. A few seasons back.
When they made that last update, it really threw me off in IndyCar because I was able to do that, do the exact same thing, and then something with that update, with how they changed the center of downforce, it just I don't know. I can't figure it out now.
I would try, since you're on a dual shock, I would try opposite lock assist.
I believe that's just standardly on.
I don't know. I think you have to turn it on.
And I'm pretty sure I've had it on. I don't know. I haven't put as much time into that car as I used to. Rita's been having a good season in IndyCar so far, though, from what I've seen. So.
Oh yeah.
It'll be interesting.
Her and I are neck and neck right now. We're neck and neck up near the top in that series. Camel GT, the GTE is still too close to call. I believe Sir Race-A-Lot's in the lead, but there's a lot of cars right behind him. Haas is just ahead of me in the P2s, and Barron's leading Twindy. But we're all in Winston Cup, but we're only 4 or 5 rounds in. We're only halfway through. It's a long way to go.
You're starting to get the idea, though. It's going to be hard for a lot of people deep in the points to start to make hard, good runs back now. So you're starting to get kind of an idea, but nothing is definite by any means.
Oh, absolutely. It's not. It's by no means written in stone, but you're starting to see the picture emerge.
Generally, this is where the champion separates himself, though. Around this point in the season,
in the summer parts of the season, yeah, what rounds 4 through 7 is where you'll see it happen. In my Winston Cup championship season in season 21, I took it on the chin at Daytona. I think I ran out of fuel or had some kind of problem I had the wheel problem, the decalibrated wheel at Willow Springs, and I was thinking after 2 rounds that's it, and then came the hot streak right through the middle of the season. That's what really puts it away. Same thing, as what we're kind of seeing this season. I'm hoping that's the kind of way it's shaping up in Winston Cup for me this season. I DNF'd at Daytona, and then got caught up in a wreck at the Rebel 300 and finished well behind where I should. But in the last 2 weeks, I've been second in each race and hoping to climb back. It's still close, like you said. It's too early to call it, but you're starting to see the 4, 5, 6 drivers that are going to be.
I shot myself in the foot at Willow. I got the lead and immediately spun the car. I had a good car. I just was in the back all race, and then when I finally got out front, it was like I got excited or something and spun the tires too much coming out of one.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. Without that last yellow, I think I was in a good position to win it. I still wound up in a good position to win it, but I had old tires. But that's the gamble you take, and I still managed to second.
What some of us didn't realize it was another yellow, because that last yellow should have been called even sooner. But a couple of us got the number wrong in our head. So, because when I spun it out of the lead, that should have been a yellow, because I collected a couple of cars, but we miscounted the yellows and didn't call it.
Gotcha. Not a bad lap for one shoe there. 29.720.
I mean, he'll be happy with that, but he's ran faster than that.
He has been running so much better. I would love to have seen him run a full-time schedule in some series, because he has been one of the most improved drivers, and he's been around forever, but he's really starting to show his skill.
The thing that we've been working on, right, is we've got his single lap speed getting really, really competitive, really, really good. It's just he's having a problem putting together a whole race still. But as soon as he figures that the rest of the way out, he'll be up there with us.
And if you're a driver, in the league that's, newer to the league, and you're running in the back a lot and are maybe not having a lot of fun out there, One Shoe's a great example. He must have come around in about season 15 or so. He's been around for a good 9 seasons.
Well, both me and One Shoe, but we have different, extremely different lines of success going.
Yeah, One Shoe was a back marker for a long time. His first probably 5 or 6 seasons, he only even got a handful of top 5s, but he just kept improving. He was always at practice sessions picking up knowledge from people. Then he came and ran for us at JME Motorsports for a couple seasons, and we started to work him into things. And then really right about season 21, the last season on GT6, we started to see One Shoe was legitimately qualifying in the top 5 and running in the top 5, and I believe he had a third place finish in an IndyCar race where he just ran straight through the pack at Motegi, and he was looking really, really solid.
That in that race, it was that was just where I was starting to set the tone for that season, and my team was starting to really get going. It was me, DeCamber, and One Shoe, and we just got hooked up, and that was his start of his momentum. Because after that race, I believe he finished 5th. We miscalculated fuel a little bit, and he had to save at the end. But it was like 5th or 4th. But after that, it was just that's been the real start to his momentum.
Oh yeah, and then he had to reset last season in season 22, like a lot of us did with the new software. But it came at a particularly bad time for him, because he was finally showing that. But he's shown it this season. He qualified 5th for the Indianapolis 500.
He's been qualifying really well.
He qualified 5th for Daytona.
Yeah,
I believe.
There's something that he's got.
It's that next. It's like we've always said, Twindy. I've given this walkthrough because I went through it my first couple seasons. You went through it. We're the perfect examples. When you first join up, unless you're a hot shot has a lot of experience and are quick. And even if you are quick, you still got to do the next steps. But first thing, you got to see if you're up to speed. You got to qualify for the races. You got to be able to run with the pack. In those days, the race would start and I'd fall half a lap behind right away and struggle to a 11th place finish. But what happens to you is eventually you learn to hang with the pack. You make it through a round or two of pit stops. You halfway through the race, you were still in the top 5, and then you fell back. And eventually you find yourself where you start putting it all together. You can make the pit stops, you made the right strategy calls, and how long you hang with the leaders goes later and later into races. And guys start saying, man, where did you come from, when there's 30 laps to go or 10 laps to go and you're still there. But the next step after that is to figure out how to put it all together and wins and podiums. That's the last step. And One Shoe is at that precipice. He has run up to 3/4 of a race as a legitimate winning contender. The next step is to put that last bit in, that last pit stop when you're tired and have been on the track for 2 hours. That little thing right there. And as soon as he does that, like we said, he had a tremendous speed weeks. He was the winner in both the IndyCar and the Winston Cup All-Star Open races. He won both of those on back-to-back nights on Friday and Saturday. So those were his biggest days in the SCL yet. And
he's starting to rack up the exhibition wins. That's same thing that me and you did. We both racked up the exhibition wins, and then you started figuring out in the longer points races, and that's when the floodgates more or less begin to open.
Yeah, I tell my story all the time. My rookie season was season 12, as we got Super 8 out there. My rookie season was season 12. It took me 11 races to get my first top 5. Most of the season I struggled at the back of the pack. When we got my second season, started running closer, but had a few shots at a win, but didn't quite get there. I won a Grand National race at Daytona Speed Weeks in season 14 and went on across all series. Now, mind you, this includes support series and all that, but across all series went on to win 8 more times that season. So that was exactly what happened, and Twindy went through the same thing. When you open the floodgates, as Supers put it into the wall.
Oh man, that was the one last thing it took for me to learn to win the races. Was that race at Indy?
Yeah, when I put snookered the move on you, and you haven't fallen for anything like that since. So
that me and you had a lot of good races at Indy in the GT6 days in those cars, though.
There was a time between about seasons 18 and 21 where in IndyCar and in the now defunct Grand National division, which was a support stock series, where just about any given week at those tracks, Twindy and I would qualify the front at Indianapolis. In those series, we'd qualify on the front row, and if we got out front, we would run 1-2 the entire race. We lapped the field on a couple of occasions, and that was that was at Indianapolis. Very much similar to what happened in the IndyCar race. There's an element of luck. I'm not patting ourselves on the back to that, but we pulled it off a few times just with a good qualifying run and out in front. And yeah, I remember the Grand National race in particular, the one that went 200K, and it was or even 250K, and it was green all the way. We had no yellows. We were both on the front row at Indy, me and Twindy, and we ran the entire race. And I believe I won that one when you had a pit stop problem or you spun it coming off a pit row. But we were together the entire race until.
Oh yeah, no, I know what happened. of how inconsistent GT6's pit stops were. You just had a quicker pit stop than me, and it was that simple.
I came out and shot away, and then that was that.
You hooked up with somebody, and I had nobody.
Yeah, I got a lapped car, and I drafted off them, and
ran away. And then by the time anyone caught up with me, there was no chance.
Hey, Rita, did you get Stance Gummy's entry? All right, let me see if I can get him in here, and he's got a couple minutes. If he doesn't respond to this, I'll invite. Okay, yeah. Wait, real quick, Rita. How many we got, and is this the last one? $17. Okay, so you go ahead and do your thing, and I'm gonna pull up the standings and set the provisionals for you when you're done. You come back in, and we'll set it up. All right, pulling it up on the phone here. But yeah, it's starting to come around here on this game. There's a lot of us still, the veteran drivers still picking this up, but we've done okay with it. I'm starting to get the feel. In IndyCar, we definitely, on the JME side, we feel good about the program. Circuit of the Americas was bruising last night, but managed to come home best as we could. There was a great race in GTE between Sir Race-A-Lot and the Zebra. They were glued together the entire 90 minutes. But today, I mean, this is going to be a unique challenge, the World 600.
Any idea on limits tonight?
There is going to be a 10 yellow limit tonight.
Okay, that'll be that. Let's just hope that we don't use them all. We probably will, but let's hope that we don't.
I'll be honest with you. As long as they don't get used before halfway, or before, let's say, 150, 160 laps. I mean, there could be 2 clusters of cautions right off of restarts that eats up a lot of that. If that were to happen twice, and we happen to hit the limit with about, less than 100 laps to go, I mean, I could live with that. I don't want that to happen, but I could live with it. It's the fact that if we were to use them all up by lap 50, before, first scheduled round of pit stops, that would be bad. That would be something that we'd be disappointed. But to be honest, we've had incredibly clean races. Any of the drivers, I have to especially give some of the newer drivers some credit. We've had incredibly clean races, and a lot of the guys that were rookies last season, and they've really come on board. Maybe they had, we had their issues with them last season, or at the very least they had issues with getting in arguments with other drivers. And maybe, like we were saying in the officials meetings last season, you remember this, 20 guys that were misinterpreting incidents because they didn't have the experience policing these races like we do. And those same guys have been some of our cleanest and best guys on the track this season. There's a lot of those second-year drivers now that have really got what we're about here and have figured out exactly how to race. And that's why we've had a lot of clean races. We ran the IndyCar race on Friday night with only 3 cautions. 300K, 3 cautions, which is, more than solid. Taking a look at the point standings, as I'll go ahead and get the camera here on Stance Gummy for y'all. He is our last qualifier, and he would be making his debut here, as he's in the wrong car, but we'll sort that out later. Current point standings in the series: Baron von Stosch, this is through 4 rounds of 10, today being round 5. Baron von Stosch with the 2 wins on the season, leading the series. He is 12 points ahead of Twindy. Callie Vitals, also from TOW Racing, has been showing out all season. He is 24 points back in third. Third, fourth, and fifth actually are 24, 25, 26 points back. That's Callie, Kipps, and myself. So we're right there, 1 point apart. Sixth is its PT. At 6th through 8th are tied at 31 points back apiece. That's its PT, Hossack, and Rita St. James. Stay Down Killin', who's a part-timer, the Daytona 500 champion, is 9th, 32 points back, and Daz is in 10th at 47
I think it's
back.
amazing that Stay Down is still in the top 10.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Rita. That was the last of it, I take it. Yeah, so we have 17 that have gone. Okay. All right, first up, you can, I don't even need the qualifying order. You can, we'll sort that out. I gotcha. All right, well, I'm going to give you the provisionals first, and I'm gonna write their name down. Okay. Barron. You can do that. Yeah, that's fine. Yes, ma'am. Sorry. 29,600. Twindy. 29,400. Callie. I'm going to put that freaking car through inspection. Kipps is not, right? Kipps did not run. Okay. Carlin ran a 29, what was it, 642. That's a provisional. It's PT. Okay. Hossack. $29,441. Some girl, Rita St. James. Couldn't have been that fast. 29,500. Yeah. Yeah.
Listen, if you beat Carlin, you always can have that as a jab.
Yeah. Beating me in qualifying don't mean a whole lot. No.
He still did it.
Yeah, it still counts. Yeah. Stay Down did not run. Stay Down did not run, and then Daz. Okay, so those are the 8. Those are the 8 provisional starters. That means that there's 8 at-large spots for the other 9. So here's what we got to do, Rita. Just take the times down for those remaining 9. So go ahead and read me what you got. Gotcha. 29,480. Gotcha. Hit the wall, huh? Okay. $30.420. Gotcha. $29,757. Gotcha. $30.100. Gotcha. Rosta. Gotcha. $29.720. Gotcha. That might get him in the race, actually. Go ahead. $47.270. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Unbelievably, at least 37.258 is going to get him in on time. So Stanced Gummy is going to be the first alternate. I tell you what, Reed, I'll sort out the positions for you real quick. We got a few guys watching, probably listening. I'll sort out the positions real quick. Yeah, and you just, when you get a chance, shoot a message to everybody saying qualifying's over, Stanced Gummy's the first alternate, everyone else is in. And we'll be...
Okay, I'm gonna go get ready for the race, Carl, and I'll see you in the room.
All right, brother. All right, going to sort out the starting order for you guys. It looks like 17 qualifiers for this mid-season race. We've been doing awesome in SCL this season. It's going to mean Stanced Gummy will not outright be making his debut. However, he will be the first alternate tonight. I'm going to sort out your starting orders here momentarily. Kelly is on the pole. Second is 20. Second is 20. Actually, put it in the fours. How you doing, Binary? Just missed qualifying. Just closed down Cup qualifying. Let's see. Working on the times right now. Working on it now too. 7, 1, 2, okay. 29 sevens. 1, 2. Cat guy. Anybody in the 8s? No. Anybody in the 29.9s? No. 30.0s? No. 30.1s. Daz and Bubby tied, but Daz is higher in points. That's 1.0. So Daz will be ahead of Bubby. Takes them out of the pot. Anybody else in the 1s here? Thought there was. No, there's not. 2s. 30.4, 30.7. 3 more cars? No. 4 more cars. 1, 2. Okay. So from here it's Bedazzled, Rosta, Super Muttley. Bedazzled, Rosta, Super Muttley. And you already got out the Gummy as the first alternate message? Okay, let me... Okay, I'll read you what I got. And you tell me if you got it. On the poles, Cali. Second is Twindy. Third is Hossack. Fourth is HCC. Fifth is Rita. Sixth is It's PT. Seventh is Barron. Eighth is Carlin. Ninth is One Shoe. 10th is Cat Guy. 11th is Daz. 12th is Grandpa Bubby. 13th is Bedazzled. 14th is Rosta. 15th is Super. And 16th is Muttley. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no worry, Binary. Yeah, you just missed the end of qualifying. Yeah, no worries, man. We'll be broadcasting it on the SCL Racing Network YouTube if you want to catch some of the onboards. You're more than welcome. Well, I tell you what we can do for you. We can put you on as the second alternate. I doubt that we'll use it, but we'll have you on there. Yeah. Yeah, have you found the YouTube channel? You can watch that stuff on there directly. It's broadcasting. Yeah, but if you go on YouTube and look up SCL Racing Network, you can look at all the old races, the old feeds too. Yeah, go to YouTube and just search SCL Racing Network, and you can. It's better quality if you're watching it on YouTube, and it's also, you can find the races that we've already run. You know, the onboards and whatnot. And if you want to get into doing that, like the marshals do, we can get you hooked up where you can broadcast your feed straight to our channel. So you'd be able to broadcast your own onboard. With the problems you've had with connection, we'd probably wait till that was fixed. Yeah, we'd wait till that was fixed, but in the future, yeah, you could do that. I gotcha. Yeah, I hear you. All right, Rita, I'm going to Alrighty. You hear that? Those of you guys that are watching, hang tight. Going to be getting the race room up here within the next couple minutes.